When it comes to applying neuroscientific principles into coaching practice, the question that we really want to ask is, well, how can neuroscience be integrated into our existing coaching frameworks? We don't want to reinvent the wheel. We don't want to go all the way back to square one. And integrating neuroscience principles into existing coaching framework enhances the effectiveness and the impact of what we're already doing. And we do that by incorporating evidence-based neuroscience so that you're able to gain valuable insights into how the brain functions and leverage that knowledge to be able to tailor your approach and deepen your understanding of your client's experiences so that you can facilitate meaningful change. And here's a few ways that neuroscience can be integrated into existing coaching frameworks. Now, the first thing that we need to consider is neurobiological foundations. So start by providing your clients with a foundational understanding of the brain structure and function. And when you explain basic neuroscientific concepts such as neuroplasticity or synaptic connections and neural networks, neural pathways, this is where you're going to be able to help your clients to appreciate the brain's capacity for change and for adaptation and how it happens every single day. And this knowledge empowers your clients to understand that their thoughts, their emotions, and their behaviors are not fixed and that they're changing every single day, but that they're rooted in neural processes that they can modify through intentional and deliberate practice. The second thing is the mind-brain connection. So neuroscience emphasizes the intricate link between the mind and the brain, and we recognize them as two separate yet interconnected entities. So you are going to be able to help clients recognize the influence of mental processes, their beliefs and their thought patterns on neural activity and vice versa. The brain is all about information processing and the mind is all about perception. So we do this by blending the two and letting and gaining some insight into that bi-directional relationship through cognitive restructuring so that we can reshape our clients' neural pathways. We can foster that positive mental attitude that we need, and we could cultivate some resilience as well. Third practical application is some emotional regulation. So neuroscience gives us really valuable insights into the neurobiological mechanisms of emotions, and it also gives us some strategies for emotional regulation as well. So this helps you to identify and regulate the emotions that your clients are going through, why they're feeling it, how they can overcome it, how they can stay with it if they want to stay with it. And we do that using evidence-based techniques like cognitive reappraisal, deep breathing exercises, mindfulness practices, but targeted practices so that we're targeting a specific brain region or specific neural connectivity. And when we integrate these tools into our coaching sessions, this is how we can start to develop and supercharge emotional intelligence, stress management, and also informed decision-making. So another thing is motivation and goal setting. Motivation and goal setting is something that we all talk about, but we can use neuroscience to get better at it. And when we understand the neurobiology of motivation, this is where you can now design strategies that tap into your clients' intrinsic drivers. You can help them to set their SMART goals, but we want to make sure that those goals are aligned with their brain's reward system, the very things that light them up on an individual and a personalized basis. And we can do this by utilizing techniques like visualization or positive reinforcement, goal chunking as well. And what we're really trying to do is we're trying to do things that stimulate the release of dopamine, and that's that neurotransmitter that's associated with motivation and reward. And that's going to enhance commitment, and it's also going to enhance persistence towards goal. It's going to give them a little bit more grit. What about when it comes to learning? That's really what we're here to do. We're here to teach people things, and we're here to teach it to them in a way in which they take it on and they implement it and they use it in their day-to-day life. And this comes back to that idea of neuroplasticity, your brain's ability to reorganize and form new connections that we need for facilitated learning and for skill acquisition as well. So we can support that through things like spaced repetition. We can support that with things like retrieval practice or multisensory learning techniques so that we can actually optimize the brain's capacity to both encode and retain and recall information. And again, we do that through engaging in deliberate practices by providing feedback and also providing opportunities for reflection to enhance and consolidate neural connectivity and skill development. While we're talking about feedback, let's talk about neuroscience-informed feedback, because feedback does play a really crucial role in coaching and development. But by understanding and taking that a step further and going deeper, we can understand our brain's response to feedback so that we can deliver feedback in a way that promotes optimal learning and growth. Not in a way where we've all had people, they don't want to hear it. They don't want feedback. It's not that they don't want feedback, and it's not that they're not open to feedback. It's about being able to deliver it in a way that they're going to accept. And we can do that by utilizing principles of constructive feedback, by focusing on specific behaviors, providing actionable suggestions, and also reframing information in a positive and a supportive manner. And that means positive and supportive for them. It doesn't just mean you being positive and supportive, because that might not be what they need. We want an approach that activates the brain's reward system and that facilitates neural adaptation for improved performance. And the last thing is brain-based communication. So we can actually incorporate neuroscience into our communication strategies when we understand the neural mechanisms that help us to communicate effectively. We're able to tailor our language. We're able to tailor our tone. We're able to do things that, are going to make people get really, really interested and just pause for a minute just to think about that thing. Depending on how we use our language and depending on how we use our tone and even our non-verbal cues, it's a difference between me sitting here and talking to you like this, or if I sit forward and if I'm open and my body's open. And this is how we want to engage the brain's social processing systems. We want to use things like active listening and open-ended questioning, and we want to use empathy to establish rapport and to create that safe environment that promotes trust and that facilitates client self-reflection. So how can neuroscience be integrated into existing coaching frameworks, our existing frameworks that we're already using? Well, it starts with understanding these neuroscience principles, and then it comes down to deliberate practice to integrate these into our existing frameworks. And we want to do that so we elevate our practice and we deepen our impact on our clients' development. And when we know these neuroscience techniques, this is going to enhance not only your experience, but your clients' experiences, because you're going to be able to tailor your solutions to their individual neurobiological profiles to facilitate that sustainable positive change. Look, ultimately, this integration is going to allow you to better support your clients in harnessing their potential, in optimizing their performance, and also in achieving their goals. That's what it's all about, really, isn't it? Bye now.